Students, yesterday we have studied the software requirement document. Today we will take up the next topic, that is the software requirement document IEEE standard. So many large organizations have defined the standards for requirement documents, such as the US Department of Defense and the IEEE organization. Most widely used standard is IEEE format, which is given in year 1998. So now we will study the important format as given by the IEEE standard for the software requirement document. As I told you, it is most widely used. It suggests following structure. 1. Introduction. 2. General description. 3rd, specific requirement. 4th, appendices. 5th, index. So the introduction part tells about the system is developed for what functionality. So it introduces to the system. The general descriptions gives overall details about the system being developed. 3rd, the specific requirements tells about the particular requirements related to the system being developed. And appendices speaks about the various appendix attached for this system, and index tells about all the indices required for this system. So we will study all these titles one by one. First, the details of the IEEE standard for SRD. In the introduction title, we study the purpose of the requirement document. So this tells about the purpose for which the requirement document is prepared. Point number 2, scope of the product. This speaks about what is the limits or what all is included in the software. 3rd, definition, acronyms and abbreviations. So, as you know, we use various terms while developing the software. So, meaning of all these terms must be very clear to the participants. So, that is why definitions are very clearly written as part of the software requirement document. Even the acronyms and abbreviations meaning should be clear to all. 4th, references. So what are the various references that you have referred should also be clearly mentioned, so that anyone who wants to know details can refer the various sources. Overview of the remainder of the document. So this part tells about what is going to follow in the next parts of the system. Next title is general description. It contains product perspective. In product perspective, we speak about the characteristics of the product. It gives more detail about the software and its purpose. product function. It speaks about the software functionality. What are the services available? Third, user characteristics. So it speaks about who are the users and it gives details about who can use this system. Fourth, general constraints. This part speaks about the limits and the constraints under which software is developed and is to be operated. Assumptions and dependencies. As you know, when you are developing any software, you assume something. So the assumptions are very important from the understanding point of view. Third topic, specific requirements. So this covers functional, non-functional and interface requirements. So this part is most substantial part of the document. As the practices vary from organizations to organization, there is no standard structure for this section. So as you know, specific requirements speaks about particular system. So there is no standard format for this title. It gives all the details such as functional, non-functional and interfaces requirements. It may contain external interfaces, describe system functionality and performance, specify logical database requirements, design constraints, emergent system properties and quality characteristics. So title number 3, that is specific requirements, gives more detail about the system. So it differs from system to system. So there is no standard format for this. Fourth point is appendices and index. So appendices should also be clearly maintained. And index part is also important because if anyone wants to study the system in detail, the requirement document should clearly tell about the index. All these details are given in the IEEE standard format, but it is very clear that the IEEE standard is not ideal. It just gives advices on how to write the requirements and how to avoid the problems. So, although IEEE standard is not ideal, it guides us about how to write the requirements and how to avoid the problems. It is general in nature. So, as you know, it is a standard format. It doesn't speak about particular organization. Point number 4, it is a general framework that can be tailored and adapted to define the standard need of particular organization. So as I told you, it is a general framework. So you can make some changes to this and adapt it for the purpose of your organization. When is this requirement document essential? The requirement document is essential because when you are giving the software development to outside contractor, then this requirement document is essential, because when you are signing a contract with the outside people, you have to exchange the money with the services. So what are the services you want? What are the functionality you want? Okay, non-functional and functional requirement, interface requirement, all this should be detailed out. So the software requirement document is important when you are outsourcing this software development part. So today we have studied IEEE standard for the software requirement document. So this is very important from your examination point of view or even the understanding of the software engineering subject. I hope, okay, you will study this, and we will stop today here. Thank you.